Turns out I was wrong about a lot of things. I have to fix this. Sorry, wrong door. I made a lot of mistakes in the original video. Huge thanks to everyone who contributed to the conversation in a meaningful way. I'm making this as a little addendum to the original. For those of you that actually want to learn about the theory of competitive TF2, this will fill in the gaps in my opinions that were, as they often are, factually incorrect.
The sequel's never quite as good.
First of all, even though they had the most interesting whitelist, UGC are no longer hosting TF2 competitive. The last one they hosted was summer 2024, and maybe they will again, but for now, Americans go to RGL and Europeans go to ETF2L. I never went into the differences in the competitive modes, but it explains a lot about the bans. Highlander is like typical TF2, all 9 classes. And the played game modes are Payload, Attack Defend, King of the Hill, and Control Points. It's more complex since you have more moving pieces, but it's slower. Teams move around their heavies as the linchpin. 6's is much faster. You usually have the 2 scouts, 2 soldier, medic, and demo lineup, and it's almost exclusively played on Control Points and King of the Hill. There are fewer players, and they're on the most mobile classes, so everyone has a greater impact on the match. That's why the bans are harsher, especially on the scout. Originally, I said the leagues banned the Bombonomicon because it destroys the player's corpse, and banned noise-making cosmetics due to alerting the enemy to your position.
Yes!
These are both true, but the real reason they're banned is to help spies. If you disguise as someone with a noise-making cosmetic, you aren't going to jingle when you walk like they do. If someone with the explodey book equipped dies, their body explodes. But the dead ringer ruins everything. If the spy has the Bombonomicon equipped and uses the dead ringer, then every fake corpse they make will explode, regardless if the disguised victim has the Bombonomicon equipped. If the disguised victim does have the Bombonomicon equipped, then the dead ringer still doesn't work properly because the fake corpse the spy makes won't explode. Lesson is, just don't equip the item. The dead ringer, I mean.
It's not unusual. It's unusual.
I could have emphasized more how powerful Mad Milk is in a team fight, and that's most of the reason it's banned, but it also goes through some thin walls, and that counts as a glitch, and they don't like those in competitive. The Criticola does significantly increase Scout's damage, but that's not the reason it's banned, not entirely. It's because mini crits have no damage fall-off, making the Scout like a shotgun sniper, and you can Uber the Scout to nullify the marked for death debuff the Criticola gives you. I knew crits had no damage fall-off, but not mini crits, so thank you to everyone that mentioned that. I'm gonna go break the cleaner's carbine out. In all humility, I am a bad scout. I can't aim my pistol for anything, so I need all the shots I can get. The decreased magazine size of the winger and pocket pistol are no good for me, but the winger's actually meta in the highest levels of competitive. Very powerful if you can aim. And the Pretty Boy's pocket pistol isn't banned for the health regen like I said, but for the greater damage output from the faster firing rate. More bullets, more problems. Bonk is more interesting than it seems. You don't really see it in casual, but apparently it matters a lot more in competitive for its survivability. And the Rap Assassin is banned due to increasing the scout's range and generally being spammy. Dare I say, degenerate? This comes up in a couple of weapon bans. Every class has a range they work best at, and the leagues like to keep everyone in their lane.
A big cup of tea. I am Englishman.
A couple people mentioned that the original is not technically a reskin, as it changes where the soldiers' rockets come out from, and they're not wrong, but in the grand scheme it's fairly minor. Any projectile weapon is affected by which side you choose to hold the weapon on. It gives you as much advantage on the strong side as it disadvantages you on the weak. It's not worth banning over. I emphasized the wrong aspect of the battalion's backup. Yes, denying crits can be incredibly strong in the right situation, and 20 extra health is nothing to sneeze at, but it's the damage reduction effect that bans it. It's like a mini Uber for the entire team grouped around you, and competitive players can organize together far better than casual. I mentioned the disciplinary action, but only talked about using it to get the heavy to the mid-fight. In reality, it's banned for getting the entire team to the mid-fight sooner. Especially in 6s, where, as I mentioned, speed matters more. And it has the longest melee range in the game. You can smack your medic's ass from across the Badlands.
Ooh.
Compared to the next most powerful soldier, Melee, the escape plan, don't at me, there's good reason to ban the whip. I've read arguments on both sides for banning the Market Gardener. Yes, it can insta-kill most classes, but also, if you're jumping into the enemy, then it's way safer to just use your rockets. Personally, I'd like to see it unbanned, because Market Gardener kills are pure dopamine hype machines, but what's good for the medic is good for the mercenaries. I have solely used the Scorch Shot for years, but had to use the detonator for the video, and you know what? I fell in love with it. The movement, the detonating when you want. If you practiced with it, then it is absolutely better at keeping the enemy barbecued, and the Pyro mains in the comments certainly think so the ban makes more sense. And apparently the gas passer can pass through walls. Who knew? I still wouldn't use it, but since they have the philosophy of banning anything glitchy, it makes more sense. Now this is the one I got the most comments about. I didn't understand why they banned the lock and load. I only break it out in casual for annoying sentries. It's due to the range and speed of the pipe. It makes it easier to hit shots in close quarters and allows the demo to slob 100 damage across the map, airstriking those poor medics. Apparently they've had some skilled players destroy competitive seasons when they've allowed it, and after all the comments I've read, I now agree with the ban. I checked the whitelist after I released the videos, and RGL are now banning the lock. The Quickie Bomb is banned for the same reason. It turns the demo from being a mid-range class to long-range. It can also destroy stickies, like the explosive flare guns. Heavy is hugely important in Highlander. The whole team groups around him. But let's go back to why people play 6s. Because it's fast-paced and highly skilled. And Heavy can hit like a truck, but he also moves like one. He's too tanky to kill fast, but too slow to break enemy lines effectively. It's not fun for the players, and it's boring for the audience. You can see why they don't want him involved. I said the Fists of Steel are banned because they let the Heavy soak more damage, but the real problem is how they interact with Uber building. Normally, a medic builds Uber slower when their patient is over 142.5% health. For Heavy, that would normally be 427.5 HP, but the Fists of Steel cut Heavy's maximum overheal down to 390, which means he never crosses the slowdown threshold. So the medic builds Uber at full speed the entire time, even while overhealing, and that is a huge advantage for farming Uber, hence the ban. Although it should be noted they farm Uber using the Scout's Boston Basher too, and that's literally the only function of the Boston Basher.
Stand inside you. No, Scout, no, don't do it. No, Scout, no. No, Scout, no!
And the escape plan has reduced healing on it, so does the back scratcher. There's a lot of ways of building Uber faster, but the Fists of Steel are powerful even without that.
Take a look around.
The Wrangler ban in 6s. Now previously I said, 6s hate keeping the gun alive. And that is the reason it's banned, but let's get into the maths. The Wrangler doesn't just make your sentry a little sturdier, it turns it into over 2 heavies worth of health. The shield gives 66% damage resistance, which means every level of sentry is effectively tripled in health. And remember, in 6s, the only people with real sentry busting ability are the 2 soldiers and the demo. And that's over half their magazines just to get rid of a sentry, and they have to do that whilst also fighting off the 4 other enemy players. The sentry doesn't die, the Uber gets stuffed, and the match just grinds to a halt.
Oh, don't be such a baby. Ribs grow back? No, they don't.
I could have explained the 6's quick fix ban better. 40% faster healing than the stock medigun, 25% faster Uber, and being able to jump in and out of fights with half of your roster? It's powerful. If one medic uses the quick fix, then the other would also be forced to use it or be at a straight disadvantage. They enjoy the fast-paced gameplay, but the quick fix is too fast.
Feelings? Look, mate, you know who has a lot of feelings?
Me. Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Girati suffers from the same glitch as the Mad Milk and the Gas Passer, in that it can go through thin walls, but it's also the fact that competitive players coordinate, and that extra 35% damage is huge in a mid-fight. I also didn't mention the 25% faster charge rate of the Sydney Sleeper. It gets to that 150 med-destroying shot faster than stock, and delivering the R. Kelly special just makes it worse. No one was arguing to whitelist that one.
Voila! I'm back!
I had a few interesting discussions in the comments on this point, and I think the majority consensus is that the Diamondback should be allowed in 6s. There's no NGs to farm crits off, and you normally die immediately after a stab. It would give Spy some function. However, this video is supposed to be factual, so I'll say this. 1. I am a Spy main. I am very biased. 2. The Diamondback is hugely powerful, and enabling it would likely just make medics' lives worse. We don't want that. We're not exactly drowning in medic mains here. It will remain banned in Highlander until Valve nerf it. TF2 L6s allowed it in Season 21, but they've banned it since, and RGL have made a clear statement on the matter. And there we have it. These 2 videos combined should now give an accurate reasoning for every competitive weapon ban in TF2. Finally, let's read some of these comments. Oh, son of a...